Okay, finally. Okay, good afternoon, folks. Let's just see if we get some people in. I'll talk about that setup in a minute. Let's have a look. Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Okay, we'll have a talk in a minute because I lost an account on Friday and I'll explain, well, why I think I did anyway. Excuse me. So, let's have a look. So, I jumped into that. So I'll tell you about it in a minute. We'll get a few people all good here. Brilliant. Okay. It's all right. For some reason, it didn't pop up on my picture. Sorry about yesterday. I had to go and pick up my car for 4 o'clock. And by the time we'd finished, it was about 5:30 by the time we got away. So, let's just get a few more and I'll talk about that trade. Chris, how you doing, buddy? So, let's have a look at this channel. Now, we got a touch here. It's close enough, a touch there. And we had a little channel with a break and a new high and also a triple test. And I really liked it. And I jumped in a couple of ticks below and I didn't realise it was a 4 1/4 point risk. And I usually don't get in at that type of thing. I try and get a pullback. So I got out of it for 2 ticks and it's a good job I did because it would have crucified me. Which is strange, really, because a few people said, what about that trade? And Marco said, perfect setup, but the Singer bar's too big. And there you go. So it is a second entry short. 1, 2, 3. It's a triple test. It's also, I kind of like the fact that we've got a bull bar there, which is triggered and that goes up and drops. It's quite a bit of rejection, that. So I got in anyway. And then when I realised how big it was, I got out of it. And then I noticed Marco said, perfect setup, just a big signal bar. So I was very tempted to get back in here. But I noticed it's a little bit flat along here. So I'm wondering whether we're going to push up, bounce, and have another leg. Now, whether you think this channel's right or not, we're touching here, but we're losing a bit of momentum. And whenever we lose a bit of momentum, we don't get down here. Often we get a break. So then straight away I was tempted again. I thought, are we going to have a leg? Sideways and a leg. So I decided to stay out again. And I'm glad I did because that told us we were going to have a break. So I got out of it just for a couple of ticks. So, and I'm glad I did, really, because it would have nailed me. But it did come down and made a new low. But it's a leg and a leg, isn't it? So Friday. Came back to the charts again Friday evening. Now, I traded one of my accounts. I can't remember what number it was. But what I tried to do was I went for 5 contracts. And the reasoning behind it is I wanted to try and get to a payment on one of them a little quicker because I wanted to get a couple of top step evaluations and have a little bit for PAs as well. So I went up to 5 contracts and I took an $850 loss. So I took another one a little bit later and it went up to about $1,150 down and it auto liquidated. And I was trying to figure out what the hell happened. It shouldn't have done that. So I was looking through, all the settings in Rhythmic, and the only thing I can think of is I traded one of my accounts individually about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and one of them was about £1,200 down or $1,200 down on the day. And after that, I decided to trade them together. So the only way I can see it is it hit a drawdown. It hit its drawdown. So I'm not actually feel too sad about it. I mean, it's one account in 20. But it has taught me perhaps I should just leave things be, because when I leave things alone, things seem to work. So I'd got another evaluation. Well, I got one. I got one yesterday evening and lost it, and I got one this morning, and I think it was, we'd had 2 legs up, and I took that bar there, and I went for the full points. I think about 7 contracts, and I got out, I had my what's it set below there, and it hit me what's it. So it came down, it came back a bit, but luckily, because I was only trading 7 contracts, it didn't do much damage. But then it obviously went down and passed. So how many contracts do you trade on the? Well, I got some different opinions on that. I took 7. Well, I took 5. And what I wanted to do after those 2 perfect legs up, my opinion was it was going to come down and break by the lows. It was going to take out these and these. So I worked it out contract-wise, and I could get out when it breaks below there. So I traded 7 contracts. Now, I used to trade 10 contracts a lot, but if you get it wrong a couple of times, it'll blow your account. So you've got very little room for maneuver trading 10 contracts. Now, if you've got a strategy where you go for a bigger move, you'd obviously be better off trading less, but be prepared to get hammered with evaluations. You're going to take a lot more. Trust me, I know I've taken probably, I would say, 200 to 300 of my failed ones have been trading 10 contracts, and you can get nailed. A couple of trades, you get nailed. So personally, I would maybe stick to something like 4. Have we got some news? We have, but not yet. We had a quick spike up and down there. Yeah, so it depends. If you're newish and you haven't been trading long, don't try and do a lot of contracts just to try and pass to get onto a PA, because it's not good practice. If you're relatively new, I mean within a year or something, I would just go for a couple of contracts. You really want to trade evaluations after you've been trading, say, a year, just to get experience of what it feels like to have skin in the game. Don't think about making money. But somebody did actually put a post on one of the Facebook groups the other day, and they absolutely nailed it. I say a lot myself, but they obviously said it a lot better than I did. I'm not the greatest with words, but see if I can find it. But I saved it. Is it this here? Okay, yeah. A guy put this on one of the Apex Facebook groups. He's put, word of advice: don't focus on the money. Don't focus on the payout. Don't focus on how much you need to pass an eval. If you're worried about passing your eval or getting that first payment, yet find you're struggling, ironically, that's the reason why you're failing. I've been there. Focus on discipline, focus on patience, focus on trading high probability setups, and the rest will take care of itself. Otherwise, you'll end up forcing it and taking shitty trades, chasing price, trying to make it to get to the last little amount, and you'll end up losing. So I really like that. But that's true. It's absolutely true. Hey, Akitri, how you doing, bud? So if you've already got some PAs and you can keep them and not lose them, then I would say that's probably a good time to start maybe increasing your contract size just to get to those PAs quicker. But really, you want to know what you're doing. Now, I wouldn't consider myself an experienced trader. I would consider myself just moving into that intermediate level where I've still got one hell of a lot to learn, but I'm doing enough now to build an account. So it's so easy. The reason I say that is I know how much money I put into it and how many evaluations I've thrown away by going for 10 contracts. You know, by all means, go for 10 contracts if you are waiting for top quality setups. But to be honest with you, I'd say, and me included, most people going for 10 contracts are people trying to get there quick, probably too quick. Sorry, the answer's a bit long-winded, but I'd just rather you sort of... I think it's part of my duty to less experienced traders to tell them how much I've struggled and the stupid things I've done to try and help you avoid it. You know, not that people necessarily listened. I got told all this, but I just didn't listen. I thought I knew best. I thought it was easy. But I think with time and experience, you realise it's a lot harder than you think. But I think it's our duty as maybe slightly more experienced traders that guys come in 6 months, a year, just to say, look, we've done it the wrong way. We've done stupid stuff. These are the mistakes we've made. Just listen to them. But obviously, you know, it's down to you to make your own decisions. So sorry again, I'm waffling on about it. But, you know, I want to try and stop people doing the silly things I did. You know, I know sometimes it's all part of it and you kind of have to experience it to a degree. But if you can learn from my mistakes and it might save you a few bob, then, you know, I'm pleased about that. Okay, so we have got news. Flash manufacturing PMI. It's done nothing really. Sometimes these news doesn't tend to do much. It's more CPI, PPI, and FOMC. There may be a little bit of spiking, but nothing much there. But yeah, it's a tough one. That some people trade all different sizes. But what I will say is trading the full 10, you ain't got room to maneuver. You can, you know, within a few minutes, you can blow an account. I know I've done hundreds of them. So I'm so glad I decided to go out of that. I jumped in and realised I was risking about $425 times 10. And as soon as it started to go, I just wanted out of it. Ordinarily, I wouldn't do that. But it happened quite quick. It was a triple test, but because we've come away, see, I see this, whenever we come away from here, often, sometimes the first time we don't, but sometimes we'll go a bit lower, come even further away and then have a break. But that was a leg up with a little bit of sideways, so there was a chance then because of this there was going to be another leg up, and that caused a bit of a break. That's how I had that, and now I've extended it. What indicators you have to show USD value? You mean the ones that tag on the end of my place an order? Okay, I'll show you. I think it's called Order Line Decorator. You'd be pleased to know it's free. So it's called, I'm pretty sure it's that one. Yeah, Order Line Decorator. So just Google Order Line Decorator and that's it. Yeah, because they're the colours. But I like it because it instantly tells you what your risk is, because a lot of the time you're counting down ticks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks, and you're trying to work out where you want to be, but that instantly tells you. You're welcome, mate. It's free, so that's good. So, did I... Yeah, I did. So we got another break there. Let me just see whether there's anything slightly different here. Trouble is, if you keep adjusting and adjusting, you can get yourself in trouble. Okay, see, I'm going to leave that there for now. The back fits, so we've got a touch, and a touch. It's not brilliant, but it's the best I've got at the moment. Let me just see what Thomas Wade's got. Okay, he's got his down here. Is that originally where I had it, I think, wasn't it? So he got it there. I had mine up there, I think. And he's got this. Let's have a look. Yeah. He's got it like that, which, yeah, that looks right to me. It's touching there nice, and that's a small break. The bottom should look pretty good, yeah. Okay, so it's a bit of a spike in channel, so a touch, and a little break followed by a new low. So I thought we may come back and fill that gap when we had that initial drop. But on my other charts, there isn't a gap, so that's just down to reloading, I think. So let's just get these ready. All these are for now. I use these charts for is just a better entry setup, that's all, so I don't need to be zoomed out there. So, okay, so news is done and dusted. I have relatively what Wade has. Are you on there, Brant, now, are you? Are you on there? Just trying to flick down, see if I can see you. Have you joined, have you, bud? Assuming you must have done. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, he had that. I think I had mine up here, I think. And then we had that break, but when it continued down, whether we'll extend it again or not, who knows? Yeah, he has extended it. Where has he? Sideways. Yeah, he has widened it again. Yeah, okay, so it's touching there and there and missing there a little bit. So, yeah, that's good enough for me. See, that's what I like having Thomas for. It just helps me keep my... I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't joined their group. Just saying I have the same. Well, how do you know you've got the same as him then? If you've not... did I show you or did I... Yeah, he's just put another post on. So, yeah, he's gone from here. Those two are touching. That's missing by a little bit. That's touching. So... So this thing's going down again. So let's just have a little look back. So we've had this big push down, haven't we? Yesterday a little bit. Maybe. Just maybe a little bit of sideways there. A little bit of a correction maybe. And now this is coming down again. We just... let's just have a quick look at the daily on here. Okay, this is the daily. So we got a leg, a pullback, and okay, yeah, right. That's basically what I was trying to say. We had that initial pull down, and then we were a little bit of sideways with a bit of a correction. That looks to me like a correction. Once you've broken below there, I think this is probably going to go down some more. Couple of legs back, maybe some liquidity there, but quite likely a leg and a leg, which will take us down a little bit. Not quite a 10% correction, but so that could come down a fair bit more yet. Doesn't look much on a daily, but so let's just get this right. So let's put that on the top and that down a little bit. So yeah, so we're here at the moment. So we could come down another, well, 80 points, let's say, for argument's sake. So I click on the 10,000. So yeah, there's certainly a chance of coming down another 80 points. What the hell's going on there? So this is the 4,000 tick, sorry, 10,000 tick chart. So yeah, we're feathering out here. So if we're coming down another 80 points, we could get a correction followed by some more. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So this is where the market opened. About here, wasn't it, I think? So we're down about 70 points so far, which is interesting because if we go down a little more, let's say 80 points, let's say maybe a bit more, and we get a correction and then come down another 80 points. So 80 points down or maybe a little bit over and then a 10 point, 20 point correction, something like that. And then another leg down would take us to around about that 2 legs on the daily. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But that's just kind of guesswork, call it an educated guess. But this thing looks like it's continuing on down. So kind of a nice looking channel. You've got 2 legs back here, no setup there. 2 legs back on that one, no setup a doji. 2 legs back on that one, same again there. So no entry there. There is a second entry short there, which doesn't look terrible because it's trapping the long. So, you know, we've obviously adjusted this. So if you add this as a break and a new low, you could say this is a bottoming pattern. So you're probably going to trap some longs there, but I probably wouldn't have taken that one. I prefer that a little bit higher. And 2, it is a little bit stacked, but it is bearish, and there is a second entry short there, and also a failure trapping the longs. So that may not have been a terrible trade, but that ATR that's not too bad at the moment actually. But what was that? So if you went a tick below there, it's not a big risk actually. Yes, continue down, and you stuck in a tight rate, is it? Yeah, so this thing is continuing there. So that might not have been a bad trade actually. We've just come off the tops, couple of little, so we kind of got a leg down with a couple of attempts, trapping some longs. But it is a little bit stacked, so maybe a little bit more risky. There's still a bit of distance to the top, but I don't think it was a bad trade. Also, whenever you get these tight ranges, whenever you get a sort of, I noticed this, and this is, I wanted to start taking a trade here. We get kind of like a channel down, and as soon as we get a bull bar in a downtrend, if you just sell there, 8 tick risk, 8 tick profit, that would have worked. Same again, bull bar in a trend. As soon as it finishes, short it, ticked above, 8 tick risk, 8 tick. The thing is with 8 ticks as well, is you get out really before the bar's even finished. So if you sold there, you'd be out there already, just where the body finishes. So that would have worked. That would have worked. That one I probably wouldn't have done until this. It's just a slightly wider channel. So that's kind of a small channel. But yeah, whenever we get these pullbacks there, be short there and short there, they'd have both worked. Same again, little bull bar short there, that worked. But I prefer it a little bit of a tighter channel than this type of size, which is slightly thinner, what I can say a double bar width. So we got one bar fitting there, another bar fitting by the side. But that would have worked and that would have worked. So that's something I'm looking at. So this thing is dropping, isn't it? So we may get a big drop today. If we have a break and a correction, we may get another whole leg down. So market opened here, and we're down basically 80 points. So if we go down a little bit more, enough to put in a correction, and then another 80 points, that would kind of fit on the daily. Okay, excuse me just for 1 minute. I'm just going to get a cold drink. My mouth's drying up. Excuse me a minute. Okay. So channel with a little break. So that channel's played out. So, a little bit of a spike there. So that technically is a second entry. It's not too bad on there, but it is 13 ticks. And that is a little bit rich for me. It is bearish. We have got a break of this, so we didn't even get the chance to. So 13 ticks. What news we got here? Yeah, it's medium impact home sales, isn't it? So maybe that caused that little bit of a spike. So technically it's a second entry. You could probably say it's a little channel with an overshoot as well. If you look at it on there, a little channel with an overshoot and a bearish bar, but that's 13 ticks. So tick above, tick below. I'm not risking that without having a pullback. So we are getting a little bit of a few little spikes here or there. So that might be down to that news. Doesn't usually do a great deal. And if you looked at it now without actually seeing the little bit of a spike, you probably wouldn't even know about it. So let's call that one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So if you did take that on that chart, you would have got your 2 points, but well, that's very tempting. 2 attempts to go higher. Didn't really give you much of a chance there. It is 2 legs up, so that would have worked. Another one would be nice. Yeah, Thomas has got a doji there. That chart is okay. My only slight issue at the moment, we are getting a little bit of volatility, so you don't know whether it's going to trigger that and stop you out. So, well, having said that, I think that volatility was probably just taking out some of these, some stops here possibly, which is why we had a little bit of a drop. Took an entry long, but formed too far from the MA. Yeah, it did. Not that too close to those lows, really. We got a little triple bounce there. It did break below there, but I don't know if you'd have got. Yeah, well, you would have got 2 points there. Trouble is, it's so close to those lows, isn't it? You want it further back here, really. So you could call that a triple test, but these bars are getting a bit large now. That's 16 ticks. I ain't even finished yet. That's just, it's madness, that is. It may come lower, but we've got bounces here, so taking that is crackers. May still come down. I wouldn't be shocked if it did. This is turning into a fair old trend, this is. So just where it started to where we are now is 55 points. Obviously we got that. Well, the open's a little bit higher than that, so I would suggest... yeah, we're down 80 points. If we can get down a little bit more to factor in a correction, another 80 points would then take us down to meet that measured leg on the daily. It certainly looks like it's on its way down on the daily. There's kind of a lower high there. You're going to be trapping some longs if there's longs bottom in there, but the trouble is with that many bounces, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I know sometimes it'd work anyway. That'll probably work and it'll probably end up down here, but I just can't go short into there. I do believe it's likely to drop below there and work down, but I just can't do it. Because it's also a little bit of sideways, so that bar there could take it potentially up to the top. I don't think it will, but once we get below there, I think then it's going to slowly work down again. We push down a little bit of sideways, and this market's bearish at the moment, so that will probably take us down. Okay, we're below there. For me, it's likely to continue on down now. I just couldn't take that because literally your order there is right on that bottom line, and that could happen. So maybe this is breakout pullback. But if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, it's also a triple test. But I wouldn't want to go long in this bearish market. So that's interesting. So we had a little bit of a pullback, and there's a failure there, but I just don't like it stacking up a bit there as well. So you may jump in here and it could come back up to this. My gut is it's probably likely going to come down, but I don't mind staying out on trades with it when I have a gut feeling, but I don't want to get into one with a gut feeling, because a sensible says to me it could trigger you and push up. So we've broken below that. We've taken out any stops for this, and it doesn't seem in a hurry to come down just yet. That there is easy pickings for a stop, to take out a stop, because it is so far from there. So it could come back a little bit. But my gut tells me it's probably going to continue on down, whether it takes that out or not. See if it takes that out. If that holds and doesn't take that out for me, then it's going to come down. But yeah, see what I mean? Too far from that EMA. It is a failure, rightly so, but just the context is all wrong, really. It's too far from that. If this drops below there, then for me, that will take us down. There's another one there, but I think that will be okay once we get below these, I think. Yeah, okay, I think we're safe now. So, yeah, shame really if you'd have taken that failure thinking we're going to come down, triggers you, stops you out and then drops. But you do get used to seeing these and just thinking that is a little bit too weak. It's not close enough. There is a gap there, so it could come back and retest that again, and it did. But it is frustrating, isn't it? because inexperienced traders will be taking them. I used to take it myself, and then it triggers your stop share, and it doesn't half piss you off. It really does, but it does teach you just to notice these areas where that signal bars are a little bit weak, or the position is rather. But the push up there and that big bearish bar, that stayed safe. Often if it's a good enough position, even though it goes sideways, it will, more often than not, and you see it a lot anyway, if you get a good strong signal bar and a good position, it may go sideways, but often it does hold and it does continue on down. Excuse me. So, breakout, pullback. Brave man. Thomas Wade took that one. That's tempting. But we could get a second entry off this. Yeah, Thomas Wade took that one, the lower high. I mean, that to me is risky going into there, which is why I stayed out of it, but it did work. I'm surprised he took that. Ouch. Another guy took that one there. Let's have a look. Yeah, he did. Yeah, see, he took that one there. It would have come down and stopped him out. So that one would have lost. There's Thomas's there. So he took the second one. That other guy took the third one. And he's already out there. He's into his runner now. So no one else took it, I think. No, so... Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't have taken that one because going into the short, but that one, that is too risky. This thing's coming down now. That breakout pullback was okay, trapping the longs. And I think it's going to get down once it gets below these. We've already come down 2 points now, so there's no way in for me, really. We have now anyway. So that'll carry on down, I think. So this thing, where we come now. So we're down 85 points. So another push down, and then a correction, and another leg down would see out that measured leg on the daily. Yeah, I was very tempted there. Sort of breakout, pull back, came right back to the EMA, and that continued on down there. So nice bar there if you'd have followed. So does it move quite quick? Yeah, I'm surprised Thomas took that actually. It is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's such a lot of support there. So he literally took that right into support. He got away with it. But that could so easily got taken out. Yeah, there was another trade I nearly took about a week or so ago, which was similar to this breakout pullback. Lots of dodgy looking bars here. A couple of them got taken out when we broke out, came back. Nice big bearish bar. That often then is the catalyst to continue on down. It just moved pretty quick, to be honest with you, before I had a chance to sort of think about it. But if you can capitalise on 5 full points there on all your contracts, it's just nice to get that bit extra, isn't it, if you can. If you get 5 points, it's a quick $500 per account. If you're trading 20 accounts at the same time, it's quick $10,000 into your account. So it's they're quite lucrative, them. But it worked a bit quick, which is probably why. Yeah, my apologies about not trading yesterday. I had to go and pick up this car. They phoned us on Tuesday and said it was ready to be picked up, so... It's actually a really nice fitting trend then, isn't it? Okay, we're kind of working nice off that, excuse me, off that midline. But I'd expect a break out of this and a correction at some point. I'll be surprised if this continues down much more without having a decent sized correction. Let's see if this is it. This thing just looks like it wants to keep doing down, doesn't it? I've got to say, and we talked about this quite a few times, whenever we get these really big trending days, we don't often get setups, but I think today was the exception. I think that was the trade of the day. It happened a bit too quick, to be honest with you. I wasn't sort of focusing on this, but we can clearly see we're making lower highs straight away. A little bit of sideways, and we're often going to in trends when we get close to this. So there was a setup there which got triggered. It was weak, that was. It got triggered and stopped out. We kind of went once, twice, three times. So there's kind of a failure, really. They got trapped up, and then we had that initial push and that breakout pullback. Trapping the longs right up tight to the EMA. I think that was the trade of the day. And if you can get that, these good setups, especially when they come back, then you usually get the next leg down. So you can usually capitalize there, even if you go for double your normal points for 4 points. I mean, you're out there, so there's plenty there. I mean, you could potentially go lower if you want, but you know, it's nice to get some extra points on this. I think it's certainly worth going for double what you normally do. But yeah, that's usually the line in the sand there. When we break out, if we come back, trap some longs, nice big bearish bar, that's usually then the catalyst to continue on down. I haven't tend to trade them a lot, but you know, there are sort of, there's times where you have those stronger bits in your trading. You know, it wasn't long ago I wasn't picking tops and bottoms, but then the trouble is if you're missing. There's breakout pullbacks, there's triple tests, there's second entries, there's failures, there's lower highs, higher lows. You know, you really need to be trying to learn them all, really, don't you? And there's been, some I haven't had great experience with. I tend to avoid it instead of, learning how to do them better. Because if you've got a full stringed instrument, so to speak, you make the most of it. And these breakout pullbacks, I've not really paid much attention to them, but I am doing, because they are lucrative and they should be a strong part of your. Because look at that, we broke out, so you can have shorts here, jumping in, and then as we pull back up, maybe, as this starts to go, shorts jumping in here, it comes down, takes out the shorts, traps some longs, and then drops again, comes out, retests that line, exactly on that line. We touched that a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that was a strong support line there. We came but bumped straight into it, triggered above it, trapped down longs, and then dropped to tick off its low. So that was a real nice setup. But I've not really traded much, but I am doing, because you get 1 or 2 of these a week, and you're missing out on a couple of trades there. So, channel break, new high. Now, this is, to me, a clear breakout. I can't see how we can adjust that to fit, maybe. But then you'd be coming within these. So, for me, that is a breakout. So, see, these big channels, the bigger these channels, we kind of often have larger corrections, don't we? But that's not very big. We got a leg and a leg and a lower high there, but it's a bit stacked on this. So, well, it's stacked on here. So I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. Someone has taken it. But it's quite a small correction, that. But it may work. Leg and a leg. Failure would be nice here. Trap some longs on this chart here. Second entry long trapped. See if we can get a failure there. It'll either work or it'll fail. My only slight concern with this is it goes a bit sideways, which may trigger you and push up. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. It's getting flat on the top. So we could go a bit sideways here. I'd like a bit more of a correction than just that. So if I was to go short here below there, could trigger below this and push up. It might not. I might be completely being a little bit too paranoid here, but yeah, obviously was. I was very tempted to take that. Perhaps I'm getting a bit too paranoid. Would that have got me 2 points? Not yet, but I pretty likely it's going to do it. That's where it'll be. That we're a tick off it now. I'll be amazed if it doesn't push through. Yeah. Okay. So maybe a bit paranoid there. It's just such a small break, isn't it? You don't know whether it's going to trigger you. Go sideways. Who took it? Someone did. So on here, no setup. On here, not a bad setup there. Second entry long triggered, so that's okay there. Nothing on here, nothing on here. Yeah, Thomas Wade didn't take it. He didn't get a setup. That's his chart there, so no setup there. No setup on here. There was on here, and it would have worked for 2 points. My only slight concern is that's a break. I'd like a little bit more of a correction than this, and I think we're getting it. Because this isn't coming down to break these lows yet. I'd like more than just that and down. So maybe we're getting something like this. Something a little bit bigger at least. Yeah, so there was a failure there. That was okay, but it didn't come down that far, but you would have got 2 points. So if you went a tick below there, it went down for 2 3/4 points. So it has certainly got 2 points. But that to me was just a little bit, I don't know, it's a little break like that and then straight down. After such a big move. No, I'd like something a little bit bigger, some sideways, a bit more of a correction than that. Okay, excuse me, just for a sec. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll just be a quick minute. Okay. So we are, yeah, with such a big down move like this, having that and down for a new low, it's just a little bit flimsy for me. We need a bigger correction, really. So perhaps we're getting a little bit sideways. Perhaps we have a leg sideways with a leg and then eventually down. This is too stressful. It does get boring sometimes, I've got to say. Trading can be really boring. I'd just say, play a bit of music, play something relaxing. You don't need to keep literally glued to this. You know roughly where you're going to be trading, but when this is coming down here, you can't take anything here, so you can put your feet up a little bit. But yeah, I think that stress does go. If I think about how I used to feel, over the last few years, I used to get mega stressed just trading and evaluation. I remember sitting here once and it was getting close to my target and I felt like my neck was in a vice. I was grinding my teeth. But I don't even get that now trading 10 accounts. So it does. You do get used to it, like you get used to anything. But yeah, it can be stressful at times. I remember having a chat with Marco about it, and he only trades 3 hours a day. He said he's like brain dead after that. So let's have a look at this. Is this going to take us down? I'd like to see a little bit more of this. A bit more of a correction. So let's say a leg up and another leg up. So leg and a leg broke into two. Leg and a leg, leg and a leg. That's more of a correction. I'd sooner prefer to pull back here somewhere, really, before we push down. But we've got a break here and a new low. So there's one attempt. I consider that one attempt to go higher. If we can come back and get a second attempt up here, that then may start to move down. Penguin style trade. I've been trading NQ on the 500. Oh, really? Yeah, the NQ is definitely a different animal, isn't it? I've never quite felt comfortable trading it for some reason. It just does move. It moves very fast, doesn't it? And it can be a little bit unpredictable. So we got a leg, a break, and a new high there. So a little tight channel with a break and a new high and a bearish bar. I don't think that was a terrible trade, but at the moment I'd like to see a little bit more of a correction. So someone's took that on Thomas Wade's and he's got his profit down here somewhere. And in all honesty, I'm not sure whether he'll get down there. Where's he got it? Right in the middle of that. So he's taken, he's took that one tick below there, and his profit would be about 3 points. So leg and a leg. So maybe there is a lower high there. I'm just not sure about this. I'd like to see some. We've got a double bounce there, see? So would you have got 2 points from there? I don't think you would have done. No, so you'd have got a point. You'd have had to push through. So I'm just staying out of this at the minute because I just have a feeling we're going to do something a little bit larger here. We may even go sideways, sort of kind of like that, but I'm just not a massive fan of this at the moment. See, I'll tell you something, there is a possibility whether we've had a break a little bit further, because there may even be a channel there. You know, have we had a break? So there is a lower high there, bars naff on there, but it's okay there. So there has been some setups today, so maybe that was okay. I'm just not sure what's going on here. 1 minute I was thinking we were pushing up, so taking that one may trigger it and continue on up. You took that one there, did you? Fell break out of that. Is that what you're on about? You're on about further back. I think you're talking about this, aren't you? So that was only 2.5 points, tick above, tick below, so that was relatively small. What I like is there was a lower high there, but that triggered and pushed up and broke out. So you're probably going to get longs jumping in here thinking, yeah, we've trapped some shorts there. And it triggers above and pulls back. So, channel down with a break. Or a couple of legs up, a pull back, and another leg with a break. And then looks down. Yeah, Thomas hasn't taken anything in this area. He took that second entry short there. I left that. I looked at it. I left it because of the support. So, new low. So that channel technically has played out. So let's see if now we get a break of this, 2 legs up, and then possibly a wider channel down somewhere along the lines of that. So it's actually not been a bad day today, considering some days where they have these channels down or up, there's just no setups. But that one I should have taken. As I say, I don't often take a lot of these. I haven't paid too much attention to these, but I did notice, one the other day which worked an absolute treat, and it did exactly the same there. As soon as we had that, pull back, nice big bearish, so I trap in some longs, and it was the catalyst to move down. It did the same, so I am paying more attention to those. Although Thomas didn't like that trade, he didn't take it. I actually don't think it was that bad, because we had 2 legs up, we came back, we retested it, and pushed a bit higher, trapping some longs. See, when we had that bearish bar there indicating a lower high, and some traders got in there and got trapped, there'll have been traders going along there thinking, you know, so as it pushed, triggered above there, I think that was okay. I think the lower high wasn't too bad on this chart, but I'm just a bit paranoid. I think because I'm trading 10 accounts, it's making me probably just a little bit overcautious, but I'm kind of okay with it. That will settle. You know, each new level you climb, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it and settle, but that's okay. I'm okay with that one. So that one on this chart, better signal bar, I think that was an okay setup. That one was, and that definitely was. So there's been a few setups today, considering we're relatively earlier in the day. That pushed down. There was also a second entry short. I looked at that, but it's a bit stacked and it's a bit too far. But, you know, hell, if it's such a bearish day, then often it doesn't really matter. But and same there, that lower high, I don't think that was terrible. 2 perfect legs up, trapping some longs, lower high, trapping some more longs. I don't think, if you'd had it a little bit better on a better signal bar, it wouldn't have been a little bit too bad, but you can clearly see what's happening. I took the 1449 short. 1449. Around about that one there, yeah. The one I just mentioned that, didn't I? Yeah, I don't think it was a bad trade, actually. It is a second entry short. There is see, you've got this little bit of bottoming pattern and a breakout pullback. So exactly the same sort of position really is there. You know, as it sort of breaks out, often it traps some shorts, pushes up, stops them out. Then the longs think, yeah, we're pushing up. So they jump in there on the lower high, it triggers. But exactly the same as that. There is that is really a breakout pullback as well, because it's kind of stacked, isn't it? It's not the most perfect range, but it's clearly going sideways. So we break out, we pull back. There's almost definitely going to be some longs in there thinking higher low. We've come out, now we're pushing in, trapping all the shorts, and we trap the long. It is a bit stacked, but you know, I've heard Max say as long as you can read it, and it's not terrible that you can't read that. It is a second entry short. It's also a failure, trapping the longs, and you can see really the result of it then, can't you? So, you know, that's where traders are in, because the shorts are short in there, and then obviously the longs are getting taken out there and there, and the momentum then shifts, doesn't it? But exactly the same there. Not as clear there as there, but, you know, same principle. So there was 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's definitely been some setups today. Usually wouldn't take it so stacked. No, I have heard people say you can't trade congestion unless you know what's going on, or some words to that effect. And it is there, but you can see what's happening. It is a breakout pullback. We've come back up to the line. We've come down. We've pushed up again. Longs are thinking, yeah, higher low. And when it traps them and then works back out the bottom of there, I think the only thing that put the damper on that slightly was the fact that that stem was there. But the more you see these, and the more you see them work, the more you'll start to gain trust in them. But it's just being aware of them, isn't it? You know, trading doesn't happen overnight. You don't turn into a great trader overnight. I've been trading Pats now just over 3 years, and you know, you're forever improving and learning. And these areas that I may not take now, once you see these 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 times over and over again, 9 times out of 10 they work, you'll start jumping in them. And that's how trading, just you grow, mature with experience and stuff like that, and then you take them. But that's okay. I understand the process. I understand it takes time. So, you know, I don't feel too bad if I don't take them. But if I know they're there and I monitor them and I see them working, then I'm eventually working to the stage where I can confidently take them. Context is strong. It tends to be, yeah, you may call it more aggressive, but like you say, look how bearish it is, and we've come down such a lot then, haven't we? And after we come down, we know that's how market works. We push down, we go sideways in a fashion, back to the trend and we go down again. Same again, we go sideways, back up to the top again, and then we go down again. Because we've gone sideways there, often we get that breakout pullback and you're trapping some longs there, and then down we go. Because, you know, you'll get people jumping in short here thinking, yeah, we're coming down, and all of a sudden it comes back. And then as it pulls back in, you get the longs thinking now we're pushing up, and they get trapped. But by then, this thing's already mega bearish. I mean, you can see it, can't you? We had that big drop down, whether you got a drop or a gap. I got a gap there, but I got just a big red bar somewhere on here. Is that it? Yeah. So, but yeah, it's clearly, you can clearly see what's going on. So, trade there, trade there. I wouldn't have taken that one that Thomas took, but, you know, that's what I mean, each to their own. We all have our slightly different, what's it? If he takes those a lot and they work for him, there's no reason why he shouldn't. And then that lower high better on here, quite likely after the breakout and the failure, coming back to test the bottom. So that eventually worked. But sometimes when you see these and you see these strong pullbacks, I don't know if you think like me, but I tend to think the closer something comes to stopping me out, the worse the trade is. And it's not necessarily the case. We know we get pullbacks, but if you trade strong, usually the pullback won't touch you. And if it doesn't touch you, then as far as I'm concerned, as long as the setup's okay, it wouldn't retest the 550s. Yeah. I mean, if you look at, let's see where the daily is now. Let's have a look. We could go down quite a bit more. We could certainly go down another 60 or 70 points to get that perfect measured leg. I expect some congestion around the current. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a bit more of a correction after such a strong push down. Come on, I hate it when it freezes up. Sometimes when I switch it back to the 2000, the daily pops up. Oh no, bars have changed freakishly. Let's try back on the daily again. Okay, there's the daily. So let's just shove that out of the way. So we got one leg down. So that looks to me like a correction. There'll be some stops somewhere around about just below there, you'd have thought. So a measured leg from the tops there to there would take us down by another. Where are we about here? Would take us down by another sort of 58. Let's say 60 points for argument's sake. So another 60 points. So channel down, bit of a correction, not much, but another 60 points from where we are. So, wow, that's quite a bit more. It's more than I thought, actually, there is. So 60 points. So I'm just going to stick a line down there just for the hell of it. And just see if we do get down there. But let's do a couple of legs. Let's do it from here initially, where it started, to here. There's our correction. So where did our bar start? Let's say, let's put it there. So yeah, look at that. So there is a chance of that. But with such a big drop down, I'd expected a bit more of a correction. But I suppose if it's bearish enough, I don't know. I'll be surprised if that comes down that much without having a little bit of sideways, because that would be one hell of a drop. I mean, that's a huge drop from there, say, down to there, 135 points. I mean, it's not unheard of. We had a 120-point drop maybe a month and a half ago, but with such a small correction, I can't see that just dropping. I'd like to see something a bit sideways and then maybe the latter part of the day, followed by the last bit of the day. But whether it'll happen or not, who knows? So I'm going to bring that down here, because I'll be surprised if we just drop. So channel down, 1-2 attempts to go higher and down to a new low. Mm. There may be something wider there. It's a bit too early to tell at the moment. Excuse me, there is a second entry short there, but it hasn't triggered. Very tempted to take that then. But we're right at the bottom, so it is a second entry short, but it's almost a bit congested there, so I'm just sitting tight there. I very nearly took that. But something just didn't feel right. Although it is holding price, isn't it, here? There may be a spike in a channel there. It's a bit different. No. So, glad I left that one. I just don't like it. It's very wicky. And as I say, I expect a little bit more of a correction. Wow, getting some flickering here. It just ate some stops there. I mean, it's a nice solid signal bar, but that went up as soon as it broke above it. It had a quick spike up. So, channel there with a breakout there. Trouble is, it's a hell of a big bar. Well, it's actually only 12 ticks, but it's still big enough. And if it's bouncing off the bottom of there, it could go up to the top. As I say, I'd expect a bit more of a correction, and we are starting to get one. Maybe we got one leg up in the fashion of this, and now we're down. Perhaps we're going to get another leg up to get us over here somewhere, and then maybe we might start to shimmy down. But possible second entry short here. So we've got a spike in a channel with one push out and a second push out. Just flickering around a little bit. Every time it goes to go up, it's knocked back down. I'm just wondering with these, there's probably going to be some shorts up here. So once it starts to push up, you kind of want to protect these areas. I mean, that's the way I'd see things. But if there is something larger going on there, maybe. So, what are we seeing here? Let's get rid of this for a minute. So, Ah. I wouldn't be surprised if it got back up here. So we've pushed down in this. We've had kind of a couple of legs up and a drop. I'd like to see another test to the tops. So let's see if we get a second entry long here possible. Failed second entry short. Short, trapping some shorts. Whether it's going to come down, but I'd like to see it attempt to push up again. So let's see, we're going to trap shorts here, or we're going to come down. Down it is, I think. No setup for me there. I think Thomas calls that, doesn't he call it a double bar entry or something? I'm not too sure. He's actually got some videos on his forum, so I might have a look. So I would say that fits kind of okay, I think. So we got a leg down. So if we can get a breakout and pull back here, maybe an option. So channel, a few attempts to go higher, and that pushed up and sold off quite quick. And then we didn't get past there, so we didn't close past there. So I think there's a good chance this is going to continue down. There may be something larger there, but just for now, I kind of like that. Shame that wasn't a little bit better entry there. Trouble is, when it pushes down there, and if it was bearish below there, maybe not have been so bad. In fact, it didn't look too bad up there, but it's still a few ticks below there. So I always like it to trigger something. So at least you're trapping some longs. We did there, but the bars, a tick off a doji, so just can't take that for me. But we are getting this down, break, couple of lows, a little bit of sideways pop up, start to get some support going there, which gives us that possible second leg down and a channel. So yeah, in fact, I'm going to get rid of that. So a couple of legs up, an attempt to go lower, a couple of attempts to push higher, and then it fails. So pretty much, I think there's a good chance it's coming down now. Okay, now stop there. That's hitting the right place. So we really need a bit of a pullback. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick break. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. There's nothing I can take down here anyway, so I'm drying up. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. Right, what did I miss? Not a lot. So, leg and a leg. So you could say we've had a break out of the channel. 2 pushes down to a new low. Straight lines tattoo. How are you doing, mate? How are you? So, just thinking, is there something larger now? It may well be. Yeah, let's see. We didn't have a very good correction, so if we'd had a decent correction, we could have had a bigger channel there, but right from the top. But this, I think, is more feasible. It fits kind of nice, actually. But we still got a ways to go if we do have that measured leg on the daily. Nothing I can do here. It's too. That's funny. Yeah, me talking about this bigger measured leg. Marco's just put that on there on the daily. 2 legs down, so he's expecting that as well. Oh, look at that. Possible second entry short. Doesn't look bad on here, does it? And it may work, but I'm not going short that close to the bottom. We could have a leg and a break and a leg. This thing could come down a bit steeper. But still too risky for me. To attempt to go higher. I just don't want to go short into the bottoms if that is a channel. I think it is. It kind of fits all right, I think. Other people have got that sort of general consensus. There's one there. He's kind of thinking the same way. There as well. So that works for me. Touch, close enough. Touch. In fact, I could even take that down a smidgen, which would work even better. So yeah, that looks better to me. I mean, that's quite a steep channel. I wouldn't expect that to continue like that without a decent size correction, but we didn't really get that, to be fair. So it just seems to be merging into a slightly less aggressive channel down. So we may do this and then we may go steeper after, but this would take us down to the measured leg on the daily, so we're not a million miles away from it. 50, 57, 58 points, so that's pretty bearish. We do need a bigger correction. Just can't take that. Don't like this. May work, but it doesn't interest me. It's too close to these lows, really. Not only that, we're at the bottoms here. We may be coming away there, so I'd expect something a little bit more aggressive to take us back towards this sort of area. So it's a no-no for me. Yeah, someone else has literally just posted that. Too close to the lows, and it is really. It's just not worth the risk. Whether it works or not is irrelevant. Got Replicanto to connect to my accounts. Is that one you're using? Yes, it is, bud. Certainly is. That's mine there. I've got to say, it works flawlessly. I never get any problems with it. And you get loads of updates. I've been using that now for, I'd say, over a year. So I can't comment on what the Apex one's like. The old Apex one was absolute crap. I don't know what this one's like, but you know what it's like. If it doesn't work, don't fix it. Hey, Karina, how you doing? You got Mac to post his journalist forum. Someone said going to send you it. I have got it, yeah. Do you want me to send it you, do you? Do I? In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll pop it on the screen and you can freeze it and have a look. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'll pop it on my thing. Someone sent it me. Let's have a look. That's it there. I'll pop it on there. That is it. It's not a hell of a lot, but that's it. That's how it finishes. So I'll pop on there just for a couple of seconds so you can have a bit of read of it. So then you can play this video back later and then just save it. So there you go. So it's not a lot, but it does give you a little bit of an insight into... so you can look back on that later and then just have a quick scout at it. But it's an interesting read. Doesn't go too much into detail, but how do you connect them? I did the license ID, but not sure where you go in NinjaTrader to activate it. Okay, so you go into New, down the bottom, Flowbots, and select Replicanto. That opens it up. Yeah. So New, I'll find it again. There it is. So go into New, down to the bottom, Flowbots, and select Replicanto. It's pretty straightforward, but a little word of advice. When you have it up, shut it down at the end of every day. I'll tell you that there's some things I do on my chart. This that you can see on the right here, I always select my account to sim, and I do it on all three of my charts. So in case something decides to open by itself for whatever reason, it'll be a simulated account. So the things I do every single day at the end of my trading day is I close that down, because all of a sudden, see, if you leave any accounts open, and we all hear stories about phantom, phantom trades on your live accounts and stuff. First thing I do is select there and then go down to simulator. I do that on all three of my charts. And then I get rid of Replicanto. I close that down because it is possible to have two. If I went into this now, into New now and then Replicanto, I can open two of these. But if I do that, everything will end up doubling. So just a word of warning. And that's how so at the end of every day, I close that down and then change all my accounts to sim. And then when I start... first thing I do is open this up and just check everything, what my account is in there, and then change my other charts to the same account. So get into the habit of doing it a certain way. That way you'll only ever have one of these up and you're in control of it. You open it when you need it and you close it when you're done with it. Because if you leave it open and it disappears down in the taskbar like that, you may forget it's open, and you can open two and more. So best thing to do is get into a habit and just close it down at the end of the day. That way you'll never accidentally. Yeah, so end of day, close it. Beginning of the day, open it. That way you'll just keep yourself. You need to have a little bit of, let's call it housework, or what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of something housework. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but I don't have that option in the New. Thank you. In the New. Not sure what you mean there, bud. Oh, I see what you mean. New tab. You've not got the new tab in there, no? Should have. If NinjaTrader's open, you'll have new here somewhere. You should do. Anybody else got new in there? You should have that there. It's nowhere else, is it? It's definitely a new, and then down the bottom, I have the new tab, but that's selected. I'm not sure there, bud. I don't know there, mate. You have new. Okay, good. Yeah, so just select new, down to the bottom. Well, mine's at the bottom. Yours should highlight on Flowbots and then just select Replicanto. And then you are good to go. I don't have the Flowbots. Oh, down the bottom. Have you installed it properly, have you? Have you installed it properly? Try closing it down and open it again and just check it. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, because I've only only installed it once. There is a way that you install it. Okay, after these two legs, I had a feeling this may turn into a steeper channel. So if you're not sure, bud, just, I don't know how to help you really, because it's been so long. Just look through the setup. Sorry. When you download it, it tells you what to do, where to put it. I forget where it goes into NinjaTrader script, I think. And then you close it down, reopen it. So just have a play around with it. If you're not sure, just shoot Replicanto a quick email. Sometimes downloading these things and install them can be a little bit daunting initially, but once you've done it a few times, it's not that bad. But just go over the instructions again and just make sure you've got it right, and that you've definitely got it installed in NinjaTrade, and then shut it down and just have another go. Try that again. Or if anybody else knows, I've done very little. I mean, I've downloaded these things, but the trouble is when you do it once, you kind of forget it until you need it again. So I'm not too sure. But hopefully you'll get it sorted out. But it is a great bit of software. So leg and leg. So maybe this is an overshoot. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to remove that just for a minute and just, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've had nice touches there. So I'm looking at this as a small overshoot. Well, an overshoot. I wouldn't call it small. There is a second entry short there. That is a small correction. Trouble is, because of this overshoot, we could get a steeper pullback. So I'm just staying out of this. Not only that, we've had 2 legs down. So just sit tight here. So pretty bearish day for well, definitely. But we were due it. We had an initial push down, didn't we, about maybe a week or so ago. That was kind of, we had some of it, then we had some sideways, then we had a little bit more, then some sideways, and now we got a chunk more. There is a possible measured leg on the daily, which would get us down to this level. And the way this thing's going, down steep, maybe not so steep. I wouldn't be surprised if we get down here at all, but we did need a bit of a correction because we were so overbought. You know, we've been bouncing out the top of the uptrend for such a long time, really, and we'd just be going up and up and up. So we needed something. So there was a second entry short there, but there's a channel here, in my opinion. It never triggered anyway. We got 2 legs back, so with an overshoot, so I'd expect maybe a decent correction. Or at least a steeper pullback. Thomas Wade is adjusted his again, and he's got that now to the top of there, and this down to there, which absolutely fits lovely in my opinion. Yeah, it does. So I'd be daft not to look at that. That's nice. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, much better that, much better. So I'm just going to push this out of the way a little bit now. And it seems this is where we're working. So we've got a touch here, touch here, touch here, and it's fitting nice at the bottom as well. So that I wouldn't, maybe a small overshoot, possibly, but which is why we're getting this sort of bigger pullback. So hopefully, if we can get up here somewhere, we may come down again. But that is pretty much straight up. We haven't had that in this channel yet. We haven't had it there. We've had a leg and a leg. We haven't had that much of a steep pullback in one tight channel. So we may get something. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up having something like that here, because that is kind of a steep channel. We've come from here. We've had a couple of legs up and then another. We've come down here and zigzagged. Same here, a couple of legs up and sort of up and down, whipping away. So this is quite steep, so I wouldn't want to just jump into a short here. So there may be a bit of sideways there. We may do something. But that is quite steep. So I'd probably assume that there may be a small overshoot there, even with that change of channel. We're quite tight there and fitting nice, really nice bounce, and another couple of legs down and a bounce there. So that for me will be the bottom of the channel. Visually looks nice, so that is a little bit of an overshoot there. So that is what's stemming this pullback, this stronger channel. So that's interesting. We've come up to the top, we've pushed above it and closed comfortably, but for me that is still a channel. I can't see another way of doing that. You could say there, but it's like a slightly wider channel. We've pushed up, we've come from the top corner to the bottom right corner, to the bottom right, and pushed up again, as we do here. Bottom right to the bottom, right to the top, and then down again. So I'm not taking this short just yet. Yeah, Thomas Wade's just put that up. He's got it exactly the same, all in the same channel. And he's got it as a small. Yeah, I noticed he changed his channel right to the top there, so I changed mine. And now he has got that. He had it there as well as a small overshoot. So this is in one channel, so I'm thinking along the right line, so that suits me. Maybe a lower high there, but there could be a second entry long, and we could break out of this because of that overshoot. So I'm staying out of everything here at the moment. So it does look like we are continuing on down. So we have got this level down here, which is, I grant you, it's a fair distance away. It's about 50 points. But if you look on the daily, I'll just quickly get a daily chart up. If you look on the daily, we can absolutely get there. We know we're absolutely overbought. Let's give that a second. Let's try again. There we go. So yeah, we are really overbought here, so that would be a nice measured leg back right from there to there. It looks like it's trying. There's going to be a few stops below here somewhere likely. So that is going to take us down from where the bottom is by about 51, 52 points, which is where this thing is now. So yeah, 51.5 points. So the way this thing's moving, I wouldn't be surprised. Granted, it is a fair move. We may even go a bit sideways for a while, but I think there's a good chance of hitting that level. And we do need it. So that's something interesting just to keep an eye on. There is a small break here, but we haven't made a new high. It's just a channel to me, so I'm just staying out of anything here. It may just come down, but it's a bit... Could be a triple test there, once, twice, three times, trapping some balls. That's interesting. Trouble is, it could trigger you and push up, break the highs. So I'm staying out of this. I can adjust that a tiny bit and that would fit fine there, and we still got that overshoot there. That's the trouble. We have finished a doji there, so there is a possibility I can see on this chart that there may be a second entry long to push up, but it is that bearish that I don't think it will be. But I still can't take a trade here at the moment because this channel is fitted and we've had a break of it, so we could make a new high because of the overshoot. So I'm staying out of a short position here, just in case it comes down, nicks the EMA and pushes up for a second entry long. I don't think it will because it is so bearish, but I have to just stay out. Hey buddy, how you doing, mate? So that triple test, yeah, I don't like the way it's coming back there, see? So whether it'll work, I was right to stay out of that just in case, because there is a possible second entry long forming on this chart, which is just a slightly different variant. Second entry long. Yeah, it's actually kind of on here as well. So let's see if that triggers. Trouble is, you can't really get short until we get below that EMA. At the moment, price is holding. Early for you. What this is, or the trade is. Target filled sound won't be. Oh, did it really? It's nice that sound, isn't it? It's the stop one I hated. Stop filled, yeah. Yeah, I didn't used to hate that sound. It used to give me the spooks. Now this is tempting.
Order submitted. Order
I'm just going to
filled.
take a quick 100 here. I'm not a massive fan of this. I think it'll probably work, but that overshoot's worrying me. We have two legs and a push-up. Everything is closed. Yeah, so just a quick point. And I'm happy. It looked better on here. It was a clear failure. If it gets below there, there'll be some stops there, no doubt. But if you look at this chart here, we could have a leg and a push up, so we could get a bit of a break, but I think this will probably come down. We're below there now, so yeah, it did work. So, yes, I'm quite happy just taking a point at the moment. So, let's just do that. So, that was a failure. Fail second entry long. Where's my... Fail second entry long. Plus 1 point. Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. My only slight concern is I'm looking at this as 2 legs, a leg and a leg, and then a possible push up because of the overshoot. I mean, we could get a break, but yeah, it's clearly working. I'll be surprised if someone else is looking for a breakout pullback lower high. So let's see if we get that. Trouble is, we could have a leg and it could go up because of that overshoot. Let's see how this fares.
Order submitted.
See how the bar finishes. It's not a great bar.
Order cancelled.
That's a shame. It may still work, but that's not good enough for me, really. Very similar there. In fact, these charts... Oh, no, they are slightly different. It's broke below there. I think it'll probably work, but the bar isn't brilliant in all fairness. So there has been some setups today. There really has. It's not been a bad trading day at all. What did that move for? So a tick below there. Oh, clearly. So if you'd have taken 2 points, you'd have easily got out there. There's your 2 points. So you'd have comfortably got out. And it is a triple test. We've had a break. We've made 2 attempts to push higher. And if you're a penguin trader, channel up with the break. 2 attempts to go higher once that pushes through the EMA. Or when that pushes, usually that's the indication we're coming down to the bottom. So I think we probably are. Where's the setup on your chart? This one here, bud. The small chart on your top left. We've got a channel. We've got a break. Make 1 attempt to get push higher. A second attempt to go push higher, which then fails, takes out any stop there. So it is a triple test. I call it a failure. So this is going to come down. Yeah, there's the failure on here, but it looked much better on that chart. That's why I have these other charts, because you get 2 more crap to the rip. But a lot max guys using other charts. Some are, bud. Yeah. One in particular is what's his name from Top Pick Trading, Taylor. So I don't know if you've ever seen any of Top Pick Traders videos. He makes a lot of videos. We used to, not so much, but he's in conjunction with Marco and some other guy, and he uses and quite a few others on Thomas Wage do as well. In fact, if I show you here quickly, he's actually got a double chart settings. Taylor talks about it there, but I think it originally comes from whoever that is. She's been trading it for years, apparently. But that kind of explains you how to use it, and it shows that, you know, there's often a difference. I have pretty interesting, yeah. So I'll leave that on for a second. That basically shows you. I'll leave it for a second, then you can just clip it later. But often see when we come up to maybe, you know, a place where we're looking for a trade. Often we don't get a good setup, but it still moves in that direction, because we know, you know, a lot of traders will, you know, if we're in a trend, they'll have short orders here, whereas we wait for it to hit that area and then wait for a signal bar. Often a lot of other traders, by the time our signal bars form, they're already a couple of points into the trades. But so many times it comes up here and then drops because we don't have a signal bar. But that's the beauty about having this. See, the failure on the big chart there was that one there, which was a doji, so I wouldn't have taken it. But the failure on there was much better. Clear failure, you've got longs in there for short, because when that comes back after the break, guarantee there's going to be some longs in there. When that triggers and finishes, you think there's a fair chance we're going to trap them short, those longs. So when this comes down, you pick up your point. I just wanted a quick point. But yeah, if you look, all three of these charts are slightly different. If you look at the top of the chart there, you've got almost a full green bar and a full red bar. If you go to the right, you haven't. It's quite different. And the same on this one here. So having those different setups just give you an extra option to for a setup. So yeah, it's interesting. Basically what you do is, if you look in, this looks like a fist with a little square around it. And if you click on data series, it's deselecting that break at end of the day, applying it, and then reloading your history will change it slightly. So if you keep your normal chart the same, but with this, I just maybe start with a second chart and just have a look at it, and then just deselect it in data series, deselect end of day and reload it, and you'll get a separate chart with a slightly different, no, only ever so slightly different bars. It basically tells you the same, but sometimes slightly different. I mean, you actually, in fact, that bar there actually is a second entry short. I think. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Tell a lie. Actually, yeah, tell a lie. It is. Broke above there, so first entry, and then we push up. And once that breaks below there, it's a second entry short. So, and it's kind of a triple test. We've pushed up once, twice, three times along that line. So I think there's a fair chance that's coming down. The only bit that threw me a little bit was the fact that this channel is still in play. And often you'd expect that to break that highs, but because it's so bearish, it's tried but failed, and we're still getting a little bit of sideways. Still a little bit congested here. Oh, that's interesting. That's a break out of a range there. Trouble is, because of this, must confirm that, isn't it? I will say that. But it's only really a first entry. Although it is confirming that. But I'm just sitting tight at the moment, just in case, because of this channel we have 2 legs and push up. There's always a possibility, because of that overshoot, we may end up doing something like that. I don't think we will, but it's certainly feasible. But just jumping into that is a bit risky. If we can get a second entry there or a lower high, then that may be an option. But lag and lag, there is a possible second entry short there.
Order
I've got to go
submitted.
for it, I think. Let's have a look. Something I don't like about this.
Order cancelled.
Because of this. It is a lower high. We kind of have got a channel, but because of that overshoot, it is working, I think. This bit confuses me. It's actually a small risk. I should have taken it, really. But it is a second entry short, lower high break out of this. Should have took that. There's just such a lot of trades today. It's kind of getting a little bit. I don't know. It's just such a lot of trades today. It's kind of a bit. I'm seeing these trades and kind of feel a little bit suspicious. Yeah, there is, mate. You're not wrong, which is unusual, isn't it? Usually when you get these trending days, they're almost impossible to get into. So there wasn't a lower high there, but there was on that chart, so that was a setup. There was a failure on that chart, so that was a setup. There's been 4 or 5 good trades today, certainly 4 good trades. Should have taken that one. Channel down with a break. Lower high, second entry short. The only thing that spooked me a little bit that it was actually on the EMA. What trades on the main chart have you seen? Not as many, actually, mate. That one, well, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like a failure, but that's actually the failure. We didn't get a lower high near, so this top left one has been much the better chart. You see, like 4. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 for sure. Definitely, it's not been a bad day at all today. Usually these trending days are really hard to get in sometimes. You see a massive move and very, very little. I noticed Mac didn't mark a lot of charts for yesterday's. So I picked my car up yesterday, so it was kind of a good day to have off, really. Yeah, the only thing that kept me out of that was that overshooting that channel. You don't know whether you're going to have 2 legs down, leg up, trap some shorts, and a second leg up and break the highs. Sometimes those overshoots, I've got it as an overshoot here, can have a bigger correction, so you don't know whether you're going to get a couple of legs and then up. But it's such a bearish day. Maybe I should have just taken it. So it's definitely been a blessing in disguise, this has, to have these extra charts. I mean, this is a diamond, this one. Second entry short, lower high, failure, all worked. We didn't have the same there. There was a failure there. In fact, that probably looked a bit better, but it is a little bit congested almost there. But there's no lower high there. There is there, and there's no lower high here. So trend phase just the quickest when we pull back. It's all right, man. I haven't had a look yet. So I'm shooting the oh yeah. I did hear the ping. $190 profit. How far has it gone? Many. Hey? Micro, you mean? Are you trading micros on this one? Is this the MES, the last one? Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't see the words. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see the top ones. Yeah. Yeah, you clearly see those 2 legs down, can't you? First leg, second leg. Worry free. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Good for you, mate. Good on you. Wait for another one. Yeah. Interested to see how much further we go. How far have we got? We've still got quite a ways for that measured leg, but it's been such a bearish day. I mean, this is a really bearish day, isn't it? Right from the open. We've got to have gone down 100 points, haven't we? Surely. Yeah, we have. Look. 102 points. Certainly 100 points. We needed it, really. So how much further are we going to go before we at least do some sideways? Just curious, how many trades would you say you take per week, per month? Oh, that's a good question. Not as much lately. I'd say probably. It's hard to say. I mean, I've taken 2 today, which is unusual. I would probably say somewhere around about the 3 to 4 a week at the moment. It's not been brilliant lately, but the last couple of weeks it's improved. So I would say somewhere around about the 3 trades a week at the moment, sometimes a little bit more. But what I would say is if you've got an account, let's say you've got a $50,000 account and you take 3 trades a week, and if you're very choosy, you can get them all winners without any great difficulty. So if you're getting $600 per week on an account, you times that by 4, there's over $2,000 there a month. Now, obviously, you're going to get the odd loss, but, you know, even if you take that down to $1,500 a month, you times that by 20 accounts, that's a lot of money. That's $30,000 a month. So yeah, I'm just, because I'm in a sort of another level in my trading journey when I've gone now up to, I've now got 20 accounts, so I'm trading 10 at a time. So this is a jump up for me. So I am taking less setups. Now, if I was trading just on one account, I'd have taken more trades today. I'd have taken another 2, possibly 1 or 2. But I tend to wait for really good, solid setups. And I miss some ones I think that are still pretty good, but because I'm just being a little bit extra cautious. But that's okay. That'll settle in time. So, but I've taken 2 today. That one there, that worked fine. Although I just got a point, I wanted just to get out to the bottom of that, just in case we have 2 legs down, then it pushes up because of this channel. So I thought it would likely that would get stopped out. So I just wanted a quick point. I took another trade earlier and I got out of it because I didn't realise how big this signal bar was. Where are you? I don't even know where it is now. I'm sure it was on here somewhere. Oh, tell a lie. Sorry, I think it was on the bottom one here. Oh, there it is. Yeah. We see that type of thing a lot there. Channel break, 2 legs up to a new height, big reversal bar. After that channel down there, I thought this thing was going down. I was convinced it was going down. But when I jumped into it, I didn't realise because it formed so quick. I got into it. It was a 4.25 point risk. That usually a no-no for me. I don't usually get in when the bars are that big. Sometimes I'll wait for a pullback. So once the trade trigger came down, I just got out of it for a couple of ticks. I didn't want the risk. And then when it was coming back here, I was tempted to go short again on a limit order because we didn't go that far. But then I can see this building up some support here. So I'm thinking leg up and another leg up. So I decided not to take that again, and I'm glad I did. But you learn it all the time. But clearly 2 legs of correction there. And after that channel, but that often works. If that had been at the top of the channel, I'd have said that would have probably worked. But I think there's clues there that this is struggling a little bit and it's going a bit sideways. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 touches there. So leg up, bounce, 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 leg up. So, but yeah, it's been well, I'd say an exceptionally good trading day, really. There's definitely 4 or 5 setups, which, in my opinion, really good setups at the trades that you can take in real time, not the stuff that Mac marks. A lot of those you can't take real time because, you know, he marks them if they work, but in a lot of cases they wouldn't. But because this is fitted so nice, if you get a setup like maybe 3 touches there and it's just worked, I think there was a lower high here on another chart of mine and that worked. That one, breakout, pullback, bearish bar, trap in the longs, load of sideways. You can see all the support there, bounce, bounce, bounce. Pull back. That one just continued on down, you can see it. And that one there as well, it was another one. I left that because of the congestion, but we pulled down, we broke out of this, pulled back, couple of, you know, little legs up there, trapping some longs again, and when that sort of closed below that line, I left it because of the congestion, but I had a pretty good idea that it was likely to go down in it, and it did. I'm trying to take only the best of the best. So that's a good way to look at things. Sometimes I forget about the mentality, the quality over quantity. Yeah, it is. Past few days I broke a lot of mine. Mate, what you're doing is perfectly normal. Recently just started strict journey a month ago. Yeah, it does take time, but one thing I'll tell you, when you make mistakes and you cock up, trust me, you learn from them, and you really do. But they've got to happen quite a lot of times, and then you'll start to chip away at that little mountain. But that's the best thing. Like Max says, any trade that you think is a setup, take it. Because when you make these mistakes, that's how you learn, and you really do, because you've got stuff invested in this, and when you have that, you really learn, especially when you start to lose money. It's a great way of learning losing money. But yeah, it does take time. I've been trading 3 years now, this style for 3 years, but from a complete beginner a little over 3.5 years ago. And it does take that time, but if you do stick at it and keep plugging away, and you can't sit here all day and not learn. It's impossible. You know, you see these markets and you'll see how they react to certain levels and certain patterns. You know, when they start to go sideways, you'll get used to knowing how they react, and when they do something, then there's a signal there. But keep plugging away, and you can make yourself a great living at this. But it does take time. And not only that, how many people do you know that work 3 hours a day? But if you're new to it, I'd probably put a bit more in if you can. Put as many hours in as you can. But once you start making money, you start to, you know, risk money, I'd say cut your hours down a bit, or do 3 hours and then maybe pop over onto a sim. But in this sort of business, the longer you've been trading, the better you become. So put in plenty of, yeah, and you will do. And they say there's something like 95% traders fail. It's not because they're not capable, it's because they give up. Because it is a tough journey. But, you know, if you look at people like the Alpine trader, he's been, I think, did he earn 300,000 the first 4 months of the year? You really can earn that money, especially with these prop firms, and it's not that difficult to earn the money once you can trade. Once you can do it and you can read the markets and you've got your psychology sorted out, it's not that difficult. You know, if you look at people like, there's a few books out there. What's his name? I can't remember his name. He's got Traded in the Zone. He tells you that in one of his little speeches. Look on YouTube. Mark Douglas, his name is. He said trading's easy when you can do it, when you know how. But if you stick at it, you'll have a much better life. You'll work less hours. You'll be in control of your life. You can move anywhere you want. You're not bogged down by, you know, and it's described as a perfect business because there's no overheads. You know, everyone's got a computer and internet connections and nothing else you really need. So anytime you want to message me or have a chat or ask any questions, I'm happy to talk morning, noon and night. So email me or private message me and I'll happily chat with you. Just put some time. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you mean. It is time. The more you do this, it's like learning a language. Mike described it. Mac. Now, we can all ask for 2 beers in German and stuff like that. But to be able to speak a language fluently does take time. We can all learn a few words and ask for, where's the bar, or, where are the women at? But I honestly believe if I can be okay with being patient, wait for the perfect setup will be easy. Yeah, but it's tough. Yeah, it is tough. You're going to fall down a lot. You are. And when you start to put money into it, I'd advise you just to do evaluations. Do not, under any circumstances, put your own money into it. What I mean is buy a $30 evaluation. Don't do what I do and stick £5,000 of your own money or $5,000 of your money wherever you are, because you'll lose it. I guarantee it. You'll go for a phase of losing a lot and blowing and blowing and blowing. And when you're doing that, you want to be, blowing as little as possible, really. Because you really can throw money at this. I know it's cost me over 25,000. It's very easy to throw away money if you're an idiot like me and you're stubborn and you keep chucking money at these evaluations because you think you're going to get lucky. You soon learn it just does not work, and it's a matter of falling over and scuffing your knees like you do as a kid enough times to realise you walk a bit slower. How many times your parents say, walk, don't run, when you go in swimming and you end up slipping over and cracking your head open? It's walking and not running. It's sitting back and observing and waiting. But when you're new to trading, you're like a kid on steroids packed in with sugar. You're itching to take a trade. You can't help yourself, to jump in. Possible second entry short here, but we're still in this channel, so I ain't taking anything just yet. See, there may be a channel with a break and a new high there, a small channel break new high, but I'm just sitting tight here because this to me looks like something, well, I was going to say something that's going to break out, and it already has done. So we've got to have a correction at some point, and not only that, if you look at this, we're at the bottom nicely there. We came down there. We didn't get to the bottom, did we? And how many times do we see that happen, followed by a break of the channel? So whether that is a break or whether this channel can be adapted a tiny touch. Yeah, you just got to be aware of that. I'd be careful jumping straight into a short at the channel, because often when we get that, it's when we move and have a break. I'm done for the day. Great stream. I appreciate it, mate. You take it easy, bud. I'm not far behind you. How long I've been going? 2 hours and 40 minutes. In fact, let me have a look at this. So what am I up to date? 30,300. $1,300 today, I think. So that's not too bad. Yeah, this is so bearish, isn't it? We've got to go sideways for a bit, surely. This thing doesn't look like it's going to stop, but we're bound to go sideways for a bit, I think, and then down some more, I think, based on what the daily's showing us. But I would say the way this is breaking out, I would probably expect something on the lines of that. But I'm done for the day, folks. Actually, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm up okay for the day. Not the best day, but I'm up $1,300 over the account. So, Sean, been trading ranges so often. Trade days are hard. Yeah, they are. Also, second guessing. Yeah, setups are too good to be true. Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, mate. I think it's partly down to because I'm trading 10 accounts now. So the trouble is when we have a really tough time of it, I had this. I kind of think the way if you ask me what I describe as the ES, I'd say it's a market that's very bloody untrustworthy and likes to screw you over. And when you feel that way, when you get a good setup, you kind of straight away, you've got your heckles up. You're like, hold on a minute, something's not right here. This is a bit too good to be true. When I think the simple thing to do is if you see a setup, you just got to take it. If it wins, great. If it doesn't, you move on. But I think if you see a setup, you have to take it. And that's what I'm trying to get through my thick head at the moment because I'm getting a bit overcautious. But I think it's a normal part of, growing up as a trader and maturing. And I think in time, I can feel myself starting to settle. When I first started trading 10 of the accounts, I felt quite on edge. But now I'm settling a bit, and it is all part of that long journey we all take. So I'm just letting it happen organically. I'm not trying to force myself into something whereas the stress gets a bit much. So if I miss a few trades, that's fine. I'll monitor them, and I'm monitoring certain setups that I don't take much. For instance, that breakout pullback, and I'm learning and maturing and growing as a trader. So yeah. I'm happy. So guys, I'm going to leave you there. So if you carry on trading, good luck. It's not a bad day today, so I think if you do hang around, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a few more setups. But I'm up for the day. My wife and daughter are away for the day. They've gone to Birmingham to see a play. So I'm going to sit downstairs, put my feet up, and have a couple of whiskies. And I may even push the bow out and order a Chinese tonight. So I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you hooking in. Don't forget, guys, that I have a code up there. If any of you guys want an evaluation, I think most of you guys have used this on and off, but my code is UKFT. As you know, most of you, I do get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. And there's the current offers, 80% off. And there is a special offer on the 150, 250 and 300. They're all $40. And if you pass them, the lifetime fee is $85, which is cheap for those. So my code's there, as you know. If you use it or you have used it, it is appreciated. And that runs out at the end of the month. So you've got the rest of this week and first 3 days of next week. So if you've used it, it is appreciated. So I will leave you there. I'll be back same time tomorrow. So best of luck today. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. So bye for now.